Hi, this is Dr. Archibald. I want to talk to you about the assignment. It's gotten a little bit more complicated here um, because I inadvertently chose the wrong text. I chose a review by PMiyer of David Brooks's book instead of the op-ed piece that Brooks actually wrote himself. So what I've done is I put both of them here, Iyer's review, this was the original text, and Brooks's op-ed piece called What is Your Purpose? And this came out right at the same time as his book, and then Iyer's review came out a little bit later in the same paper. So what we're going to do is the text you will analyze is the book review by Pico Iyer of David Brooks's book, The Road to Character, which is published. The review was published in the New York Times. In your analysis, you should employ the key features of the rhetorical analysis, blah, blah, blah. So that's all the same. I put up another article, this one by Brooks, that appeared in the op-ed pages of the New York Times, because he's a regular op-ed journalist um, that writes a couple times a week and posts stuff. And his particular essay is called What is Your Purpose? And it's based off of the same ideas in his book. So in this essay, Brooks's essay, which came out at the same time as his book, he deals with the same essays. So use Brooks's essay, What is Your Purpose, as additional context for the ideas Iyer says Brooks purports to have. The trouble with doing a rhetorical analysis of a book review, I'm sorry to say, is that no one of you, none of you actually, have read the book. So what we're going to have to go off of here to see if Iyer persuades us that Brooks has done a good job here is to look at Brooks's op-ed piece, which is What is Your Purpose? So use that as background for Iyer's review and uh, his attempt to persuade you that Brooks's ideas are whatever. Uh, what does he say about Brooks's ideas? So you'll have to come up with a um, a thesis on how well Iyer has read Brooks's ideas. Do you agree with that? And the short way to find out is to look at Brooks's essay um, that appeared about the same time as his book, which is What is Your Purpose? Okay, so that's what I want you to do in this paper. And I'm going to give people a little bit more time to kind of get their heads around this, sort of thing. But you're still doing a rhetorical analysis, an analysis of the original essay on Brooks's book by Pico Iyer. Okay? Um, but you're going to use Brooks's op-ed essay, What is Your Purpose, as background to what Pico Iyer says. This will help you come to some kind of idea about how persuasive Iyer is that Brooks's ideas are baloney or they're good or what. You'll have to come up with, you'll have to evaluate this, evaluate Iyer's ideas about his book from reading this other essay by Brooks. So, you know, it's a little bit more convoluted here, but it's still possible and still interesting, you know, to do. So, you know, if you have issues with this, if you have questions about it, please email me and I'll be able to deal with it. And I'm going to talk a little bit more in Wednesday's Daily Jing about this. Okay? All right. Bye.